trade union Solidarity has started a legal process against the Water and Sanitation Minister Lindiwe Sisulu on the legality of the Cuban Engineering Programme. Solidarity is calling for the programme to be suspended until it can determine if the Cuban engineers meet the legal requirements to work in South Africa. In a statement, Solidarity described the programme as foolish and illegal. For more on the story, we're joined via Skype by the union's head of communications, Morne Malan. Morne, very good day to you. Thanks for making the time.
Good morning. Thank you.
What prompted the legal action against the minister?
Well, I believe that last week we actually started a process in which we sent the minister a list of 132 qualified South African engineers, people who have over 40 years of experience, people with PhDs, master's programs. I think from the beginning there was questions surrounding why we felt it was necessary, or why the minister felt it was necessary to make use of Cuban engineers when we do have suitably qualified, willing and highly competent engineers within South Africa. Since then, it has come after further investigation. We have realized that these engineers are not actually registered or qualified to do work in South Africa. So the degrees are not registered or recognized through SAQA. They are not registered as members of the Engineering Council of South Africa, nor are Cuba members of the International Engineering Alliance, which currently has roughly 29 countries as members and 41 jurisdictions. So yes, we don't believe that it is moral when you have suitably qualified South Africans to make use of foreign labor. And we don't believe that it is, well, we actually also believe that it is illegal in this case.
Yeah. What for you are the legal requirements that would that the engineers need to meet to work in this country, besides the ones you've just mentioned?
Yes, like I just quickly mentioned it. I can quickly mention it again, it's no problem. So their degrees first have to be recognized by SAQA, the South African Qualifications Association, and then they have to register as professionals through EXA, the Engineering Council of South Africa, and then only are they registered to work in South Africa. And failing that, they won't be able to do any, or they'll be very limited with regard to the scope of work that they're allowed to do, or they will have to work under the supervision of a suitably qualified South African, most likely engineer.
But just in terms of being registered by SAQA, don't they have to have something, qualifications that meet the SAQA standard? Wouldn't that be sufficient?
Yes.
Not every international professional has to be registered with SAQA. Is that the case?
Well, actually, SAQA has to recognize the international degree.
Absolutely.
In order for it to, yeah. And at the moment, the degrees which the current 24 Cuban engineers hold are not registered with SAQA. So it's actually an extremely laborious process, and we don't understand why one would prefer to go through this entire process when there are willing, capable, and able South Africans who are standing ready to do the work.
Yeah, well, on that point, a lot of South Africans agree with you. But you've given the minister until Friday to respond. What will happen should the minister miss this deadline?
Well, at the moment, we are requesting two things. We are requesting either that the minister willingly suspend the process until further investigation, or we are explaining that we are willing to do that through an application for an interdict of the process. And we have various questions which we have for the minister. Why are you making use of Cuban labor when there is no clear indication as to their skills and their competencies as compared to South African engineers? And then secondly, were EXA anywhere during this process, were they consulted? Did you even think to speak to the Engineering Council of South Africa, or did you simply move forward thinking that this was more of a political move than actually improving South African infrastructure?
So a negotiation is a give or take situation. Were these engineers' qualifications to be verified and shown to be valid, would you change your mind?
Well, I've alluded to it so far, but I think there's two different processes at the moment. So on the one hand, the illegality of the appointment of the engineers, that has its origin in the fact that they're not really registered to work in South Africa. But even if they were registered, there are still huge questions as to what expertise they actually are bringing. Cuban infrastructure is not at all famous for being high quality. In Cuba, roughly 50% of water is wasted through leakages, and they have an equivalent of load shedding for water, with some areas in Cuba having access to water for only 2 hours a day. This is not to say that there aren't any foreign professionals of whom we could usefully employ, and who do have skills which we can access. We're not being xenophobic in the sense saying that it's we don't believe that in foreign labor at all, but we just don't believe that Cuba provides any useful expertise or skills which we do not have in South Africa at the moment.
Yeah. Well, we hope to have you back to give us an update when you have been able to engage with the minister, or if there's an alternative way forward. But Morne, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.